Find your path with the knowledge of others and become an illuminator for those who struggle. Guide their way just by being true and being in alignment, because it comes naturally to you. On self-discovery wisdom, we share to find inspiration with lessons for millions. We hope you listen.
Afternoon and good evening, folks. Welcome back to another edition of Building Your Business right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, and my wonderful repeat guest, this is her third show with me, is Kristina.
Milosevic.
I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. I'll always bugger it up. So Kristina's been with me a couple of times, plus I have been on her show as well, which we're going to talk about today. But, she's in the marketing business and, she goes far beyond marketing. She gives people direction in a space that can often feel overwhelming and unclear. And by guiding individuals through these digital landscapes step by step, she helps them understand how to show up online with confidence, clarity, and purpose. Her support empowers entrepreneurs and small business owners to build a visible presence, connect authentically to their audience, and turn their passion into a sustainable income. Through her coaching and her podcast and her global connections, she opens doors to opportunity, helping people move from uncertainty to action, from being unseen and being recognized, and from struggling alone to growing into a supportive, connective community. I've known her for quite some time now, and we've done quite a few shows together. I know that she's extremely passionate about the work that she does. She has her wonderful podcast, KSM, of which I've been on a couple of times myself recently as well. And, it's all about the when you love what you do what you do well. Right. And you love what you do. You've taken a various journey to getting here, which we've, talked about in other shows. But it's like when you discover what it is that you do well and whom you can serve and you love doing it, then you know you're on the right track. Right, Kristina? Welcome back, hon.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah, for having me today. Yeah. When you what you do and when you're passionate, you don't have worries. You don't need to worry. So you can move forward and be on your way, on your journey to do it what you love to do.
It's really about empowering everybody to step into their purpose, to love what they do. And I always draw the analogy of an orchestra. An orchestra is not made up of one instrument. It's many instruments that have all perfected their instrument in their own way, and they have come together to play harmoniously and transcending together. If we really want to have that orchestra in life, we've got to know what our instrument is. What is our purpose? Why do we want to do it? Whom do we want to serve? And where are the people? And for anybody starting in business, those are the questions we need to ask first, isn't it?
Yes, of course. If we want to say that we were in corporate sector sometimes, there are people who are in they were all their life on their own business journey. But when you see that you can serve, and you, for example, as I was in corporate sector, and I see that I have my knowledge and my energy and force and what I love to do, I just really realized 2010 to start my own business journey. And when my purpose, I like to help people. I like to, just to what I have inside of me. So this is a better way when I do for myself. To be entrepreneur and entrepreneur journey, it doesn't mean to be always like how I can. It's a hard. It's not easy, but you know what are your obligation much more, and you can serve who do you want to serve, and you can be more specific, more authentic. And you mentioned who we are, and yeah, in this planet where it's just authentic, every single person, and we're just like creatures who can serve someone. This is a
Exactly.
way.
That's just we've just got to find out what that is. We were born to be of service to each other and in discovery of who we are and whom we're serving. And the more that we are in service of each other, the more we illuminate each other's path and enable that person who is designed to do this, to have that light and that purpose. And I think that we have spent so much time on struggle, struggle, struggle in every aspect of our lives that when we make the decision, no, you know what? I'm not going to struggle to climb the corporate ladder anymore. And this is especially of women because it's very hard. I've reached as far as I can go. I can't go any further. Why don't I start my own business? I've got the knowledge. I've got the experience. I know whom I want to serve. So let me step out. But it's a very different platform to that of corporate because in corporate, you've got other people to call on for things you can't do. Now you've either got to learn to wear the hat that you didn't used to wear, or you've got to find somebody else to align with that's their strength, this is your strength, and you're going to work together.
If you think that we are in our own business journey, entrepreneurial way, and you can delegate someone in terms to
Mm-hmm.
help you in some way,
Mm-hmm.
because as only one person, you cannot work on your business, be a leader, like to serve, to respond to emails, or you need to maybe to delegate some VA or just to help someone in your team. It's
Yeah.
a small team, to be honest, but it's 8 hours sometimes when you're only one in your team. What you do as a coach, as a consultant, as a whatever you run. As you mentioned, I run that Guess and Growing Business Online brand for coaching, digital marketing coaching, podcasting, and speaking. And it's not, especially that English is my second language. For people
Mm-hmm.
who don't know, I'm based in Serbia, Southeast Europe, in Belgrade. It's capital of Serbia. Just for people for listeners to know where I'm based, where I live. And to be honest, my mindset is I wanted to be my own business, to be my boss, because I also in the corporate world, as you mentioned, you need to work with many people. Sometimes that delegated is more and more, but you cannot achieve your full capacity in
Right.
terms to serve your clients. And I work with business owners who wanted to become more visible and create from them different digital strategies. And I like to do it like one to one, one to group, as I mentioned. But sometimes it takes time to do everything, and running a podcast as you do
Yes.
for many years. And I'm super proud of you because, and I'm honored to be for third time, a guest, or second or third time your
Third
podcast.
time. Yep.
And I know how it's, um, I don't want it to say hard, but when you do
Just
it
a
from
lot of
your
work.
heart,
A lot of
when you
work.
do it from your heart,
Yes.
um, that's it's a hard, but when you finish that, you see your journey. You see what you invest in that, your energy, your knowledge, your time,
Mm-hmm.
and connect with amazing, amazing
Yes.
entrepreneur globally. And this is why thankful to technology. I traveled all around the world in front of my computer,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm really passionate about what I do. And people always ask me, Christina, when do you sleep? But I try to find a way to sleep and to have my to have my smile on my face and to
That's
connect
all
with
about
amazing people.
management, isn't it? Managing your
Yes, of
time. Yeah.
course.
And,
But
and
it's
also,
at the
that's the
moment,
thing.
it's from my heart. It's
Right,
from my
right.
heart.
I think that's actually one thing that as becoming an entrepreneur, you need to know. How do you manage your time? Because there's always something that needs your attention. And I think what it is what's your top three? Those things have to be attended to, right? I'm ADD. So I know that I have to look at what's my priority. Don't get, rabbit or squirrel, it's It's these three things. Once these three things are done, what are the next three things that I need to focus in on? And, whether you're ADHD or whether you're just an entrepreneur, it's so easy to get caught up with, oh, now this needs doing, now that needs doing. And next thing you know, 24 hours has gone and you haven't slept. Rather than prioritizing what needs to be done today, and you can address something else tomorrow. So that management of time is very, very different to the corporate world, isn't it?
Yes, of course. And I know that Brian Tracy has an amazing book, Time Management. I think
Hmm.
that I have it here, and always put it up to read it page by
Remind
page.
yourself.
Remind myself, yeah, that's an amazing book. But yes, we have to have priorities. And first and foremost, your job, your clients, to email them, to try to connect, But also sometimes you have family issues, which you
Hmm.
need to be in your kitchen or just delegate someone to help you. But I'm just kidding. So in terms of kitchen, to be honest, and yes, that's true. What you said, that we need to have priorities, what we are going to do first and second, and whatever we have, or how people just create their to-do list for the 1 week, on daily basis, on weekly basis, because sometimes whatever you didn't finish today, you can put it up to finish tomorrow. And just set some, as I said, measurable goals that you can just really
Yeah.
um, achieve them, and that you can finish them, like in terms as a business owner.
Yeah, the management skills, but also knowing when to say, time to close the door. Because it's so easy to get kind of caught up in. And anything online, yes, computers speed things up, but they also complicate things. And you find that, just for me to do an admin day, there's always something I need to fix on the site or prepare for next week or do this and that. And all of that stuff is much quicker than if I had to do it by paper and hand and everything else, but it's still so time consuming. And I had to learn 5 o'clock, stop. That's it. I'm done for the day. Also, weekends I may come and look and am I prepared for next week? Make sure all my banners and shows and everything are ready. But either me time or family time. And you've got to draw the line. And as an entrepreneur, it's so easy just to go 24/7 every day. And that is, yes, you put in extra time initially, but you've got to know your boundaries. You've got to know when to stop, because otherwise it affects the rest of your life. And then, the reason for doing it, which was like you wanted to be your own boss and do things on your own time schedule, you have just thrown out the window.
Yeah, and I agree 100% with you, because you just really we have to set up our boundaries, because we don't think about how it's going to attack in some way our health
Yes.
issue. And what we have, as you mentioned, a problem maybe when we are going to be older, or about our head, about our speed, like sitting a lot in front of computer. And you said that something like that it's really time consuming. Either
Yes.
that you have prepared, if you prepare something, always it's more than 50% of finished job. If we are,
Mm.
especially when you whatever you do, either that you do a podcast, or you do either that, and I know that you do everything from
Yes. We're all
recording,
hats.
editing,
Yes.
promoting on social media, creating, and I do, that's all what I do, as you do. And I know what is the time consuming.
Yeah.
And sometimes, as you said, 24 forward slash 7, it's not good, because you can do it 1 day, 2 days, but third day you
Yeah.
will just drop down. And either that you want to, your body will tell you, okay,
Uh-huh.
stop it, because you
Hmm.
will see that you have headache, or have some low energy. And this is something what I really don't I don't want it to uh, just say to people to recommend don't do it, because
Right.
we need to be only a human being to the end of the day, and
Yes.
we need to respect time when it's in every time zone in this world.
Mhm.
Where is night to sleep it, when is day, just do it. So and I'm not one of them, but I
No,
like
because you're
how
working
to
with
pre
people in different time schedules, right?
yes,
But then
and
I hope when you are working in the night with someone that you're taking time in the day to yourself. So,
yes,
you know,
in the
you've got
morning to sleep longer, for example,
exactly,
but you
exactly.
cannot change time
No, you
in
can't. Right.
day for the night in the area when do you live, because
Mm-mm.
you need to sleep when it's time to sleep.
And if you
Either.
are, I mean, you've got people that are in trading or people that are working with people internationally, and they very often work 3 or 4 in the morning. Okay, then your mornings, you know, your morning time is your sleep time. Like nurses and doctors that work night shift, right? They will sleep during the day. But you just got to make sure in your 24-hour day, whichever time you're working, that those are your work hours, those are your sleep hours, those are your social
And
hours.
for me, either the time in Central European time zone, CEST, but I always work in time in Eastern time, US time. So when like it's a morning time, here is midnight, and I sit down and do the podcast when it's 6 p.m. Eastern time. So
Right.
that's, and I'm like a that I, because I'm in Europe, but if I in some way go to live in America or be there, I think that I was so good in sixth in Eastern time. I'm
Yes, because
so
you
close with that time, you
right,
know.
and you're not with me because I'm 3 hours
Yeah, I
added
know.
to that.
Yeah,
So we're
you're
nine
Pacific
hours
time.
apart.
Yeah, I
So that
know.
always
Yeah,
makes it difficult. But
yeah.
their thing, I think, is whatever you're going to do whatever your business is, and if it is going to be international, is work out what your hours are going to be. All right. And what you're available for. And don't go and make yourself available for something that isn't logical or rational for you. If you've got children, you sleeping all morning isn't going to be the thing. You've got to get them off to school and et cetera, et cetera. So,
This is for people who don't have kids
right,
in
exactly.
one relate,
Exactly. So,
or who have all these kids.
you've got to look at your lifestyle. You want to be an entrepreneur. But what is your lifestyle? You've got a lot of people say, well, I've got kids at home. I want to work for home. But that means that you've got to work around your kid crying, needing to be fed, nap time, you name it, need diaper change, whatever the case is. And you've got to work in around that. And so your hours are going to be in and out. You can't be so rigid. And it's like take off the corporate hat entirely. Because when you're working from home, that it is a totally different demographic and you've got to look at how you can adjust. And that means adjusting with your clientele. Which hours are the bad hours for you to set up a call? Don't do calls during that time because it's not a good time for you. Maybe you could do some admin because if you get interrupted in admin, it's not so important. But set your calls with your clients or your sessions with your clients around time periods that you know that you can do. Again, going back to the big thing of time management.
Yes, time management is very, very important. But with my clients also, I do a lot of email and scheduling, because mostly I have clients one-on-one,
Yeah,
and I try to negotiate sometimes, or I was creating my Calendly, but I didn't follow up. I tried to follow up, but it was like it's a better that I can follow, and negotiate, because sometimes people schedule it but not don't update. And I
yeah,
know that I cannot update in that way, because there are different time zones in
yes,
Australia, Japan,
yes,
America, Europe, and sometimes I see, okay, it's better that I have much more quality for my clients to be prepared than just to schedule it up. And then this is a way when I have also time and enough time to schedule 7 days before, 7 days or however. So in that way, I'm super, super super focused on that,
Yeah.
super punctual, and in terms that I do also podcasting, so I know that in online space I will be like today, like sometimes it's technical part,
Yes. Yep.
sometimes internet is slow connection, or but the I'm I go very good, excellent with that. So
And I think this is
I'm
another
super happy.
thing is lighten up. Things are going to happen. You're doing anything online, internet could drop. Interruptions can happen. People don't turn up. Or, last minute this and that. And I think, in the corporate world, it's been so very structured and there isn't time for any mishaps. When you're an entrepreneur, things are going to happen. And, when I first started out, I did 13 months live podcasting, and I would have people that would drop, or I would drop and I've got to come back in. The poor guest is flapping in the wind, or people wouldn't turn up, or something would happen. And you have to learn to go with it. And if you're a perfectionist and everything's got to be done just so precise, I don't think you will make it as an entrepreneur, because you have got to be flexible for things that happen. And the more human you are about it, the more flexible you are about it, the actually more at ease your client is going to be.
Yes, we are not perfectionists, to be
Mm,
honest, as you said. We're only human being to the end of the day. And people, whatever I have, I can experience, also you can experience, and every single person in the world who run business online or however. Today, everything in banking and everything, in people in corporate world, if they have
yes,
problem with the internet, they cannot do something. They couldn't do something like in that day or a few hours. But when you mention that, in terms that something can happen, and I know that is with my ears for my clients, and they can understand. So I always have, if I something happened that I cannot do that session, or not
yeah,
just something is like disturb me or whatever, internet collapsed or energy, or especially in a winter season, then I can do something else. Like
hmm
I have option B to
mm,
finish emails or to write something or prepare for you as entrepreneurs, you must be very flexible, and
yeah,
I'm so flexible, and I understand people. As I said, we're human being, so we need to, if you either that you don't do it, you go out and walk. You need to fresh air.
yeah,
For example, one of my good friend of mine, she was doing QuickBooks, and she was doing a lot for US companies. But one day she said to me, Kristina, um, it's so frustrating for me because many hours she was sitting in front of computer
mm,
all day by day and night. However, especially when you have like a end of the year financial
yeah,
and
deadlines.
etc.
Hmm.
And she said, I cannot do it anymore, this job. Now she's NLP trainer, and I'm super happy with that. And I know that she can go out on, she's also in Serbia, but maybe she can go out and she can connect with clients in person.
Yeah,
And sometimes we have just to know our capabilities and opportunities, and to how many hours we can sit down, because
yeah,
sometimes you couldn't be all day and night in front of computer.
yeah. And for
And to be
one,
online, it's not good for our health,
no,
for
it isn't.
everything,
No, no,
for eyes, for
no.
body, for
It's very
head.
anti-physical, terribly. At one point, especially during COVID, I felt like I was working 8 days a week. I was putting out 9 shows a week, and just, everything was online all day long. And I moved 2 years ago to be closer to my daughter and grandchildren. So now, 2 days a week, I have the grandkids. So I only work 3 days a week. At the weekend, I'll do admin and preparation, and I take a day for myself. And, at first was a bit of adjustment because, like, oh, I've got to do everything in these 3 days. And now it comes down to efficiency, right? I know, get my shows prepared or my programs prepared at the weekend for the following week. And on the days that I'm working, slot, make sure there's time in between. And I know that it's efficiency in those 3 days. And I may only put out 4 shows a week, right? Which is okay. And if somebody cancels or postpones, I can't get somebody last minute because it doesn't work that way. So that means there may not be that many shows that week. And it's okay. And I think if we take off this, oh, expectation and pressure, and we've got to do this, we got to meet that, we got to do that. No, the reason you became an entrepreneur is so you could breathe, so you could be a human being. Don't push yourself so far that it costs you, costs your health, costs your mental health, costs your relationships, right? Prioritize your work, prioritize your friendships or your family, and prioritize yourself. That makes a good entrepreneur.
Yes, of course, I agree with you. And as I said, if you're an entrepreneur, this is such a beauty to be entrepreneurs. You have your heart area, you have your happy area, you have everything. But as Sarah, as you said, we have to take care about our health to 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 have longer duration of our life
Yeah.
and to serve our family, our clients, and however, that's so important for
And so
ourselves.
many entrepreneurs may start a new career at 50 or 60. They retired from their corporate job or the expectation job, and they're now doing what they love. And they're working into, I'm 70, so working in 60s, 70s, and even older, because it's no longer considered work, it's considered passion. And and that actually has given them a longer life because they're doing something they love, right? And if your heart isn't in it, don't do it.
As you said many times, I know that you like to host and interview people who do that from their heart.
Yes.
So, and I really do. I really like what I do because, as I said, either that English is my second language, and I have never thinking about it. I'm going to run a podcast, which is, 4 years, it's like top 20 by FeedSpot. I don't want to, that's, you can check it out. Like in terms of category of online business, every single 7 days I put one because I don't do it a lot too much, but I have consistency to do it.
Yes.
And when I do that challenge, now it was 5 years ago now, I was so shy in front of the camera, but when I done that challenge 21 day in that Facebook group with my mentor from Australia, I really like to speak more than to write, as I said many times. And I started from, because as you said, you said I'm 17, but I don't do that. I'm doing it for my passion. And
Yes.
I really do from my heart what I do, and this is my passion, and this is a way how I can have my fluency to be much more fluent in English.
Yeah.
And I really like English language, either that I was born with it, but from my childhood, I started learning English when I was 8. And it was lovely. And I always imagined that I can go somewhere. And to be honest, I live that now for, let's say, last 10 years. Either did I started my freelance career 15 years ago. And really, it's amazing when you can meet amazing people. And I wrote one of the book, Global Women in Business, through the social media. I met that amazing Samantha from Melbourne. And to be honest, I translated that book in Serbian. There are 7 ladies from 3 continents. It was like a writing. We wrote our stories about how to juggling between, as a mompreneur or single mom, or as I was juggling between entrepreneurship and teaching. And it was lovely. And now when I read it finally to finish, it's amazing just to when you can do collaborative projects
Yeah.
globally.
I think also for Western speaking people or Western societies, they always look as Europe as being over there, right? Well, they speak a different language, so therefore separated. No, we're separated by oceans, right? But we're not separated any other way. And that, yes, not your first language, but you speak English very well. I've spoken to some English people that, is like, I've got to work out what they're saying, right? So, because the English dialect is so different
Thank you
in
so very
itself.
much for your kind words
No,
about
don't
my
be,
English.
well, no, your English is very good. And I think
Thank
it's
you.
like, we've got to understand that people who do not speak English as a first language, let's commend them for communicating in our language, but also understand they've still got a voice. They've still got something so important to share and something that can help us. So don't dismiss people because their language is different or they come from somewhere else. Because a different flavor is going to give you a different perspective. And it may be something that you need in your business. So be flexible, be open to receive, and stop being demanding of what package it comes in.
Yes, and either that you can, there are people who don't speak English or however, so you can do it. You can run your podcast. You can speak to people in your language, but
Yeah,
today you can transcript everything. So like
exactly.
if
Exactly.
people just don't speak, you can run your podcast or interview, whatever. I'm just talking to people who in Europe or in
Yeah.
Asia or in
Hmm.
Australia or everywhere in the world, and you can run on your own language and you can connect and people can just because we're different and I like really to connect with people to know about their culture, about the
Yeah.
language, about their what they feel about their market in some way, like in terms of business. And there are amazing people in this world. So yeah,
Yeah, be open to them. But
especially
it's
yeah.
also like, marketing in North America, maybe very different kind of marketing in Europe, right? So there is no one size fits all. And it's like the more you know about what European trend is as to, North American trend, is that there comes that flexibility. Stop pushing your program unless people are wanting an American market. But if they're wanting to also serve their own people, it's like what is their demographic? What kind of how will it be received in their culture? Because if we don't look at the different cultures, then we're just slapping one size fits all. We've got to ask the questions, right?
Yeah, I agree with you because when you know someone from that area who lived there, this is the
Mm,
best way to. You can read it on internet, you can read it whatever you read, but the
yes.
best way that someone is going to express you situation and how it looks like and what is the marketing in Japan or how people resonate with that or either that their barrier is there are people who still learn English, because Japanese language is very interesting. For some people, it's complicated. I started to learn in Japanese as well, just to introduce myself in some way on some networking event. Where Japanese people speak English, to be honest, but
Mhm.
also in other countries. And this is so important when you know people, connect with them, and this is open mind that you can learn about the marketing in Australia, New Zealand, or in
Yes.
Canada, or in Australia, or in US, or UK, or anywhere in the world. And what is curious for now, I have one global project, which name is Global Communication, and it's still in the area of this is a project, and one of my partner from US, she runs her company for communication. So that will be something when we are going to research global communications and marketing, and this is something what I'm super proud of, but it's
Yes.
still in a phase of cooking, how I can
Yeah, your
say, like
development. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's today's podcast and show is it's interesting just to connect that when we talk about when we are talking about other languages, other countries and markets and marketing and everything. So, but this
Well,
is the
the
way that,
global communication, we're all fundamentally saying the same thing, but we may say it in a different way. And the more, again, we understand the culture from where it's coming from, then we can actually understand that communication better. If we're only hearing from our own culture, we become prejudiced. When we allow ourselves to look at the culture from which it comes from, that we understand what's being said. So I think global communication is essential, and in marketing and business, more and more people are globalizing. I'm an international podcast. I interview people from all over the world, and yeah, we need to actually understand who they are. It's their message that's coming across. And are we listening from just our own perspective, or are we being taught something, which is what podcasting is? My motto is listen, learn, and apply. And podcasting especially is we're inspired, we're illuminated, we're invited, but it's what did it teach us? What did it show us? How did it lift us up? How did it open up something to us? And in podcasting as well as in business, you want that kind of illumination. You want that kind of, I'm interested, or I didn't know that. Tell me more. And you want that inquiry, because communication is about communicating each other's perspectives and wonderment and explanation. So let us encourage people to reach out more across the pond and around the world and communicate from who we are and why we are, and make it a beautiful buffet of communication.
yes, of course. So, and I know how I met you on networking.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still in our relationship,
Yes.
partnership, and I must say that you mentioned I'm not still open, but I wanted to say in this episode about the book which you're going to prepare
Yes.
in a global way. So maybe I would love to hear again, maybe for our listeners, for your
Oh,
listeners and
yes,
my
yes, yes.
listeners.
I
This
put
is
out
also about communication, and you
exactly.
mentioned,
It is about sharing different perspectives and points of view, because I call these awareness shows. When you're aware, you care. When you care, you do something about it. But you can't be unaware. So for me, my second book I put out was Our Forgotten Children, which is around the raising of our children and the different perspectives of systems that need to change. And my next book is Our Forgotten Seniors, and it's I'm hoping to have seniors from all over the world come and share all their triumphs, all that they've contributed, but also their struggles in being a senior. Is it health? Is it financial? Is it societal? But also a warning to the youth, prepare for your seniorship now. So I'm
but
looking for
we
seniors.
can learn from
Oh
seniors.
my God, if we put seniors along with you, take the wisdom from seniors, all that learned knowledge over decades, and give it to the youth with all that enthusiasm and energy, imagine what we will have, right? It isn't the young versus the old. It is about listen to the wise ones so that you've got the right skills and tools to apply to your enthusiasm.
Yes, and we can learn from each other. And
Yes.
tell me, do we have still open that people can join that
Oh,
book, or
yes, yes,
is
they can. Then go to the orchardofwisdom.org, and you will see our Forgotten Seniors tag, and they can read all about it and apply there. And hopefully I'll get you to translate it into Serbian. Uh,
yes, of course, that will be my pleasure because it's not the first book I translated. I also translated one book from one lady from Australia. It was a small book, but I translated in Serbian, and this is only one which is translated in Serbian. And I translated also many books from Serbian to English, and I love to do it. This is my passion.
Right. Well, there we go. We've got a future project. And
Yes,
I
we've
mean,
got the
that's the
future.
thing is if you don't converse, if you don't communicate, how do you know where the synergy is? How do you know that somebody's got something that you didn't even know you needed? Hadn't thought about changing it into Serbian, right? So,
Yeah, and what I would love to do in a future time, I would love to be a part of that book, and maybe we can talk about in our future and next year,
mhm.
2027, let's say, or 8. We can talk about that book, and
Well,
how
hopefully that
we.
book is going to be out at the end of this year or the beginning of next year, because I'm gathering
Yeah,
all of
that's
this
good.
now.
So, and I can start translating in Serbian, but however, I would
Yes,
love to be a co-author. I would also a part
you're right. That would be
co-writer of
wonderful.
that book, so
Yeah.
that we can talk about it.
I think, we need to listen to the young. They are so profound and they're still in their beautiful innocence and purity. We need to listen to the elders because of the experience and having worked through the BS and have come out the other end to know really what's important. And it's in the middle that we're always in chaos. And, when you step into entrepreneurialism, there's a certain amount of chaos until you find an equilibrium, until you find your vibe tribe, who your client is, who your associates are. That's your orchestra. And when you have found that, then you really are stepping into your entrepreneurialism, not to be the next six figures or the next Oprah, but to contribute to whom it is you contribute. Because I like the domino effect. You have an effect on one person's life, and it's so profound it affects the next person's life, and so on and so on. So I'm not about the highs and the lows. I just like to see a wonderful wave of enlightenment. So, whatever entrepreneur you want to be, are you doing it for fame and fortune? Good luck. Or are you doing it because it comes from the heart and you really want to make a difference, one person at a time?
I think that, as you mentioned, I like middle, just to
Mm,
have a weights,
yes,
and what you do and I do to have for my legacy.
yes.
Either whatever I do, like a book or Coulter's book or my own book still in writing, and I will talk about it. But now it's like still
Are you
in my
writing your own book?
yeah, about the podcasting,
Oh, good.
and also how to be present online, because I have a lot of material that need just to put it up,
Yeah.
and not too much because people don't have time to read too much. But let's say 100 pages, between 70, 80 to 100. It's 100, it's quite enough, because people just really, and I'm not want to read too much, because time consuming, and if
Especially for
we.
a book like that, because a book like that is about um, information that they can apply,
Yeah,
right?
and
And
practical side
yeah,
of it.
yeah. So you want a book like that to be kind of to the point, easily approachable, and easy to adapt to.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and just sometimes not to be too much put a lot of theory there, just like put a practical side, like a guide
Yes,
for something that people can apply and can use it.
right.
Especially in that marketing area of for digital marketing. So that's something what I really love to do. Either that I'm co-author of the book, and I would love to be an
Well,
co-author in that book with you
yeah,
on
well, you'll
your
be coming back
project.
to share about that book when it's out. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
I love that. I
and,
love it.
and
And
that is,
congratulations on that. So
yeah,
that
yeah.
I wish very prosperous and very successful
Well, you know what? We
engagement
we
with
both are doing it
authors.
because it's driven from the heart, right? We know what we
Yes, of
see a
course.
need, and of course, these things are passion projects, because they extend the voice of the podcasts. So they are what I call podcast book, because there's podcasts and summits associated with the book. But it's like some people like to read and then hear, some people like to hear and then read. I want to cover all the bases. And yeah, some people don't tell me, let me have, something I can read and then apply. And I'm like that. Show me how to do it. One step, two step, three step. I go and do it a couple of times. It's in my brain. But don't just tell me to do this or show me on a YouTube and I'm busy trying to watch the YouTube and then go and do it. And it isn't cohesive. And
I like to work that
yeah,
I can
it's something
show
you
and
can
show
apply.
you
Yeah,
how to do it,
direction,
how to apply it.
direction. Yeah. And it's like, ABC, and you do the ABC and it's registered, right? But when it becomes ABC with a twist of Z and a little bit of Y, and it's like, no, because you will actually find a high percentage of entrepreneurs do have ADHD, right? Do have that. And it's like they're multitaskers, they live in chaos, they're go-getters, But again, that time management and structure is something they desperately need. So this book would be that you're writing would be excellent for people with ADHD.
Yeah. About building how to be present online. Either that I say that I coach people and teach entrepreneurs how to become more visible, creating
Yeah.
strategies for them. And I cannot guarantee how many clients you will have, but
No, no.
I can say you that you can spread the word about you and you can scale your expertise, you can scale about your business, and you have scaling marketing, like to be global, either where you want it to be. And it's like on either that is about your website, about your social media, LinkedIn or Facebook, Instagram, or how to manage it, and also in terms to be on video marketing, to do it and run your own podcast. Or that's something what I do organically and I really love to do it. So that's what I do every single day, like you, creating a podcast. And also it's an area of monetization, but maybe once we can speak about it, that will be so good for our listeners to speak about how to monetize their podcast, because that's
Yeah.
always a question.
And yeah, that's something I'm still trying to work out 14 years later, because there's always different rules in different countries too. All right. So, like, I'm in Canada, so I can't do the same things Americans can do. And
Or I cannot do the same things in Europe
yeah,
what Americans can do, or
exactly.
Canadian
Exactly.
people.
And
Yeah.
knowing that, it's like people, I get, you must get it too every day. I get somebody, pushing, I can make your podcast this, I can do this, and I can do that.
I have a
And
lot of emails about it.
yeah, so I, constantly getting that. And I,
Constantly salesy people
yes,
send me
yes.
from nowhere some emails.
Exactly. So,
But
it's like I rather know a tried and true way of doing it from somebody who does it professionally rather than just somebody who's in a different country far away, promises you 10,000 followers for only a mere, $6,000, So yeah. Yeah, I think this book will go down very well because
yeah, I
a
think
lot of
so.
people would need to do it themselves until they can get big enough in their business that then they can hire and delegate. But it's having that how to set it up, the foundation of your business, how to set it up in a way that you are setting it up to root and to grow and to get to that stage where you can branch out by hiring people. And that does mean you're going to have to wear a lot of hats that you're not used to. And so something like your book and something like your services, you're there to help people where they're weak at. That's not their strength, right? Their strength is ABC. You're there to help them promote that strength and get noticed so they can get the work that they need.
And I think that I was researching and see that it doesn't mean that you have, let's say, 2 million views
Yeah.
or 10,000, or but the point is either that you have small podcast. It's so important what do you want it to achieve with that?
Yes.
Who do you want
Yes.
it to serve? And don't forget that someone will come to you and listen to you and say, I want it to be your
Customer.
client.
Yeah.
This is a way when people just wanted to build relationship. And first and foremost,
Precisely.
you in either when you do like a podcast with guest speakers, for my experience and yours as well, mostly that YouTube, for example, algorithm follow much more. You can overcome when you do solo and talk about your specific area from
Yes.
your expertise, because YouTube that in that way pushes your move your. I was testing that, and depends what you want. But the point is, when you want it from your business part, if you wanted to run your own podcast from your expertise,
Hmm.
people love that. People need how you optimize it, how you
Right.
put the keywords, meta tags, how to optimize title, how to optimize description, and this is what I do, and I still learn. So that's about YouTube channel. And I'm more satisfied with YouTube because there are more viewers on YouTube than on audio.
Yeah.
This is my and
Well,
much more.
I mean, like Spotify does video and audio, which is great. You can put both up there. I'm on
Yes, of
16
course.
audio platforms and 3 video platforms. And I find it depends on what the show topic is. One show topic will be absolutely only audio and just a drip in the YouTube and then other. So I think it's you've got to be on both platforms. Because some people like the visual, like watching the talking heads. Look at us, we're so smiley. You want to watch
Yes,
us.
and when you mention I'm on Spotify, I'm on Buzzsprout, I'm on Podbean. But what is interesting, when I put on Podbean like a free of charge, then like automatically I have every single audio like from
Mhm,
RSS feed, and you mentioned and you helped me a lot with some other platforms.
mhm.
Thank you for that. As podcaster, we are here to support
Yes,
each
yes,
other.
support
You
each
can
other.
see
It's
it.
not about
No,
competition, it's about
yes,
collaboration. Mhm,
and I always wanted to say that I wanted to attract my competitors, not to work together, not just to be a competitors. This is where when we work from a
mhm,
oriented entrepreneurs, and I saw that is maybe more than 20 platforms. So
mhm.
that's audio way.
Yeah.
And thank you, Sarah, for helping me.
Yeah,
You
no
always
problem, no
help
problem.
me.
And it's everybody has their favorite platform, right? And they're going to listen or watch from their favorite platform. And for us, it's making sure you're on each platform. But it also is what is your podcasting about? Inspiration begets invitation. When people are inspired by the title, by the person, by the topic, right? By the initial, then it's like, oh, I'm interested. I want to know more. I want to learn more. I like that last podcast. Going to come back and see who they have now, and all of that's so very important. Which I think makes a huge difference. Do not go into podcasting thinking you're going to make a money or any money or a lot of money. You're doing it as a service, and it's there to also promote you. Now, I'm a professional podcaster first, before I'm a book developer, before I'm a coach. But it's most people are podcasting to enhance what they already have, right? And I say to people, put the podcast that you've just done on your site. And if you've been on a dozen different podcasts, then people can listen to them. They're getting your truth. They're getting your vibe. You've said something, you're doing something, they're feeling something from you that now they want to reach out, right? But make sure you have your podcast that you've done or any speaking arrangements, anything you've got on your website so people can go and listen and hear for themselves.
Yeah, and when you mentioned that, I want also to say that when you have your podcast, you can also put your links in some other platforms, like a
Mm.
backlinks, or if it's like that you write some article and put in
Yes,
different magazines, like in Brains, or I was
right.
writing for that. This is so valued for you as expert in your field, because today, and people go to an AI and ask for your podcast or
Hmm.
orchard.
Or well, and selfdiscoverywisdom.com are the podcasts.
Yeah, or
Orchard of Wisdom is kind of the books
tell
and the
me about
programs.
that podcast. You will
Hmm.
see, because Sarah is on many platforms.
Hmm.
Sarah's podcast is everywhere. And also about KSM, Going Business Online with Kristina. If you go there and you wanted to either that you are much more linked with very respectful, credible platform, this is your backlink. So this is so important that you
Yeah.
do what you do and you are in the right way. And as you mentioned, when we start doing podcasting, we cannot say, okay, I'm going to earn money from this. I started for 4 years now, 5 years. And thankful to you, Sarah, you told me about the FitSpot. And I
Hmm.
go there and upload it, and I get email and say, okay, Kristina. And I say, oh, it's 20. It was maybe after 2 months. I'm not sure.
Right.
Your podcast is top 20 best. It was
Mhm.
2023 year, and now all those. Like Amy Potterfield is so famous in America about
Yes.
email marketing, and she has a lot of. But her podcast is the first place. Mine was
Mhm.
in category, because you have 2 millions of podcasts. And in your and Sarah's podcast is also in this spot. And I was like, okay, that's good. I got an email. It was generic. However, and was super happy with it
Yes.
because why? Because of content, because of uh, my show, like that invite people to speak about their ups and downs, how they started their business.
Mm,
It's also either that there is not only online business, in a business in general,
yes.
and in still is there. It's about consistency, about and this is I saw that I am on the right way, that people love to come there. So this is and thankful to you, Sarah, as well, because we're here how and we wanted to show up today and show you how to podcasters can collaborate.
Right, exactly. And how even marketers can collaborate. The thing is, this is my strength, that's your strength. We have some overriding strengths. Where we have those overriding strengths, let's support each other because that's just going to strengthen the whole umbrella. And by listening to these podcasts, there's something that we've said that you hadn't thought about, then now you're going to think about, and that maybe you're going to apply or inquire, or has pivoted you in a different direction. And that is what it's about. That's what these podcasts about. You may get a dozen things out of it or only one thing out of it, but it's something that has inspired you to look at something or approach something in a different way.
Yeah, and to be honest, as you know, I learn a lot of things from my guest speakers, and people love to speak, people love to show up, people and like it we wanted to talk about exchanging podcasts, but also this is a way of collaboration,
Yes.
and when you do it something for your heart,
Hmm.
always try to figure out and connect with right people, connect with Sarah, connect with me, with myself. We're always open to help you, to give you some advice. Sometimes someone can send you 2 3 words which can change your life.
Yeah, exactly. I 100% agree with you. That is actually kind of the communication we're talking about. It's not about pitching, right? It is about building relationships, building communication. I may never do business with you, but however, I really like who you are, so therefore I will recommend you. And that's the point. You're not going to need to do business with somebody, but you're going to come across somebody that's looking for someone. And you're going to say, oh, listened to this podcast, or I met this person. I think they would be a good fit, and do the introduction or recommend. What people do with it after that is up to them. But the whole point is they inspired you, share the inspiration.
Yeah, and you can always connect because today people are so present on
Yeah,
social media, either where they're on Instagram, X, mm, LinkedIn, Facebook, depends where they are, what is their
exactly.
favorite platform. But just try to figure, and I was like, I connected many people in Australia. I have never been there,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
people just feel that.
And that's where we
If
connected, was on an Australian network
Yes, of
platform.
course.
Right.
Yes, of course. And we cannot do it everything alone. So
No.
if we are in connection and if we do it from our heart, be open to be giver. And I always
Yeah.
like to give. And then
When you
I
give,
receive for
that is
someone else.
receiving.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is something, it's like a circulation in
Yeah.
universe. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean that if you give someone something that you will get back from that person.
No,
You can get something when you need it immediately from other person. But
exactly.
this is circle.
It
And
is.
don't forget to help people. Don't forget to be open mind. Don't forget to be open heart to help. Be who you are. Be
This is
authentic.
living from the inside out, not the outside in. All right. And if you really want to be successful in life, in business, in happiness in yourself, it's an inside out job. And it's like, are you doing the job that you love? Is this something that really is benefiting other people? Is it something that you get up every day, you would do for free because you love doing it, right? And is it really having an impact on someone? That is what I call enrichment and abundance. Now, your bank account may not match that, but that soul, heart, spirit, meaningful enrichment and abundance is the true currency of life.
And this is something what no one can steal you from your
No,
heart.
no, no. You've got to acquire
This is
this.
you.
This is
This
you.
is abundance.
This is you opening up. And then, as I said, the more you give, the more you receive, because you receive by giving.
And you learn in
When
that way. You learn in that way.
when you're
We're,
helping someone else,
yeah, we are
it's that
energetical,
gratification that they've, in some way you've had a good impact. That is giving back to you
like we give energy and we receive energy. So like
in
radio
exchange of.
station, like frequency. And if you're in the same frequency with that person, you will deal a job, like
Exactly.
you will close the sale or whatever. So
I think, I think we're coming out of the era of rah rah and six figures and number one. And it's like, chill, man. How can you really help me? And, we don't want that rah rah. We want earnest. We want honesty. We want skills and tools that we really can apply. And we want to know it's coming from someone who is authentic. So you
and
want
we
to
want to
succeed in your business, you'll be like
respect.
that.
We want to
Yeah,
respect people, how they
exactly.
look like, and who they are really, to know who they are,
Right.
how
And,
they.
it's okay to say no, you're not the right client. It's okay when you feel that there isn't a right synergy. Don't push it because it's a sale. Um, if you can't serve that person because you just feel that there's a clash, just to say, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Let's close the door on this and move on. And there's ways of doing it, but don't be committed because, you give your money back if you have to, but you look at your authenticity, your integrity, and your nervous system. And if you're working with someone that's causing you to go, it's definitely time for you to close the door.
There is no deal
No deal.
about.
No amount of money rich enough. Nope.
Yes, of course.
And that's getting to know yourself and why you're doing what you're doing and how to do what you're doing. I can't wait for your book. When is that going to come out?
Yeah, this year, I mean, and I cannot wait to be a part of that seniors, because I really love to, how time goes. We all will be seniors.
Yes. Well,
So,
the people I'm looking for is 55 and up, the seniors. And, and I'm quite happy to have a chapter on people who work with seniors and the impact that they've had on them. But it is about the celebration of seniors, their struggles, their triumphs, their warnings. But it's also stop throwing us out into the pasture. We've still got so much to give. And we're still,
of course,
respect
and
what
you
we've
still
already
have a
given.
lot to support, and people still have opportunity to learn from seniors,
Exactly.
from their
And
expertise and
and
their
hello, we're
experience.
fun. We're fun. Right? We may be a bit slower, but we're still a lot of fun.
But still existing.
So of
uh,
course, people can go to KMS podcasts on Spotify. They can find you at 137.
KMS podcast, Growing Business Online with Kristina, because I think that there are KSM. Whenever you go KSM podcast, it's a little bit long.
Right. So,
Going
yep.
Growing Business Online with Kristina. It's like my
Okay.
brand is Growing Business Online brand, so this is
Right.
the
So
name also
we've
of the
got that,
podcast.
and of course the Facebook, KMSM Coaching Consulting, and then also Primo ZIS team, and groups KMM Consulting and Quantum Business for Success, and LinkedIn.
Quantum, it's not. I need to. Quantum Biz just. It stopped just to be. I didn't. It's a group when it was my partner group. So
Oh,
don't.
okay, so that
I
one
will.
can go.
You have also KristinaSM.com, because it's still, that website is a process of construction. So just to tell you, that is my website. Also www.KristinaSM.com. You can also, I'm still building that website, but you can find a lot of information there. Also, on YouTube channel, KSM Growing Business Podcast, Growing Business All with Kristina. And when you go on YouTube channel, when you go to the channel, you will see all links to the Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Right. Wonderful. So it's all there. So you've also got a free giveaway, how to create a social media strategy. So people can come right here to selfdiscoverywisdom.com and put in your name, Kristina, Kristina, Milkovic, which I promise I'm not going to say your name. I'll bastardize it.
Milosevic, that's good.
Milosevich. Put in her name, and you will see all the shows that she's done with us and all of the links that you can reach out on her, plus the free gift that you can get here, the social media strategy. She will be back again. I can't wait to look at her book and talk about that. And, there's a lot more still to come from Kristina. But, the fundamental thing is you want to be an entrepreneur. There's a whole load of marketing, a whole load of preparing, a whole load of things that you need to know that you need to do. And a lot of people market the way somebody did from a shop or somebody did from corporate. It's different on your own business. And you've got to understand it's not just about pitching or putting stuff out there. It's always about an invitation, because it's always about building relationships every
And
single
if you
time.
want anything, if you want some advice, whatever you want, you can always go to KSM Podcast on Business Online Kristina YouTube channel. There is a lot of solo podcast episode, and I'm always open. Connect me to Kristina SM7 on Instagram, on Facebook, LinkedIn. So, and message me, DM me, and I'm always open to give you some advice, or it's not pitching. I'm always open to help you, to give you something from my heart, or to give you some guidance or connection or whatever in terms how to build to your own online presence and how to become more visible.
And of course, if you want to be on her podcast, reach out and let her know who you are and what you've got, and see if there is
Yes,
a
I have my
synergy
form,
there.
so if you're interested, we can do discussions like a pre-session call, or you can also fill out the form and be a speaker on my podcast.
Excellent. Wonderful. So good having you back here again, Kristina. I know that you're going to be back again, for the book, but obviously other discussions. But the bottom line is, yes, being an entrepreneur is great. But it is time management. It's got to come from the heart. You've got to look at things differently. You've got to understand your why. Why are you doing it? Who is it for? And then be willing to go through all of that to set yourself up before you even market yourself. So get your ducks in a row and then reach out to Kristina, and then she'll help you with the marketing side of things. And if you really want to promote yourself and get on her podcast, fill out the form and see if there is a nice synergy there for it as well.
Thank you so very much. I really appreciate joining again, and I really enjoyed this conversation. I think and I learned a lot from today talking to you, dear Sarah, and I think that our audience will just put a comment below or whatever you want, just
Yes,
that we
please
can inspire
comment on
only
it.
one person.
Yeah.
That will be good. Just don't forget to connect with Sarah and me.
Yeah, exactly. We're here to serve you.
Yeah.
So we hope we've inspired you to reach
Maybe
out.
you will be podcaster as well. Who knows? You want
Exactly.
to run your own podcast, just
Right.
connect with us.
Coming in. The waters are great. A little turbulent at times, but they're great. Thanks so much, Kristina, and to everyone
Thanks,
out there.
Sarah, and cannot wait to have you again on my podcast to talk about your book and my book as well. So, and I would love to be a part of Sinder's book globally.
Definitely.
But we will put all information. Don't forget it. Thanks. Thank you again, and I really enjoyed this show today.
And thank you very much. And to remember, everyone out there, you can embrace that new beginning. You can embrace entrepreneurialism, a redirection in your life. It's just kind of setting your things up and doing things the right way. But you've got people like Kristina that's helping you on your way. So until next time, folks, we hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you to listen to right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Come and hear the illumination that's going to shed light on your path.
Find your path with the knowledge of others.